So I have a EEC-V here on the bench to repair today. Come in for, it says number 4 coil is misfiring, that it's not sending the signal. They said they swapped the coil and the problem stayed at number 4. They also have a constant 12 volt, and they checked it at the PCM harness and there was no output for number 4. So I think they're suspecting the driver is blown in the ECU, which sounds about right. And they also say they couldn't connect to the ECU with their scanner. I'm not familiar with that scanner, so that could just be an issue with the scanner not reading the SCP data, or it could be, in the device itself. But I guess the first thing we will do is to check for communication. So I'm just going to hook in my powers, and then this one is the keep alive, and then this one is the ignition. Okay, and then I have the data lines here. I want to plug into 2 and 10. And I think I have these ones in the right order. But we might have to try to switch them. Okay, let me go ahead and get my autel going. Okay, also I'm going to turn on the ignition. Okay, so the current consumption looks about normal. Let me get the other camera here for that. Seems about right. We have Ford here. And I believe this was from a 04 Escape 3.0. When they first told me, they told me it was the 04. I was expecting it to be the late model 04, which is actually, the different style ECU. I didn't expect this one. I don't see these too often. So my wire come out there. Okay, this is a gasoline. It's automatic. So we are not communicating quite yet, but that may be because I had the wires backwards. I can't remember which one is which. So let's try to flip them around. But one of these ways should work. Hopefully. If not, then we're going to have to look at the wiring to see which one is which to make sure. Well, we won't have to do that because it just connected. Okay, let's check codes. So we do have communication with it, so that's not a problem. That must be a scanner problem that they were having. Okay, we can just back out of this now. And now we will investigate the driver issue for coil 4. Okay. All right, so there is our one side. Don't really see anything for ignition control on this side. I see these guys here. I wonder if they're for the O2 sensors. Not too sure. The layout for the gas models. I rarely ever work on these for gas models, but I do a lot of the diesel ones, but they're laid out completely different. But since it's 4 there, I suspect that's probably for the heaters for the O2 sensors maybe. On the back, we have a ton of drivers here. See these guys? These are probably driver chips. These are probably, since it's 6 of them, but it's laid out for 4 and 4. I bet you these are the ignition coil. So you see, it could be like an 8-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. Kind of weird that this one is down here, but that's okay. We have 2 more, most likely little drivers there for something. I know the fuel injectors is one of these 5. I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure what this guy is. Maybe charging. But I'm pretty sure we need to focus on one of these guys. So let's look at some wiring diagrams and find out where the number 4 is. All right, so I'm into my escape wiring diagrams here. Let's go to engine ignition. Let's go. It should be in one of these 3. Okay, there it was, the second one. All right, so we have, here's coil 4 right here. Have 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So coil 4 is pin number 1 from the powertrain. So that's extremely easy to find. We just need to put our meter in continuity mode. And if we look at the harness here, it's actually labeled 1, 13, 14, 26. So that means that pin 1 is here and 26 is here. So pin 1 is this guy right here. Okay, and I'm pretty sure these are the coil drivers, so we're going to check. And look, it's the first one we check, which makes sense because this is the closest one. I bet you this one is probably one of these pins. Yep. And all 4 of these will be for these 4 driver spots here. Yeah. See, and it's going to be the same on this side. So this one, these 4 probably correspond with these 4 pins here. This one's a little bit different. Oh, this one is backwards, so the furthest one actually goes to the furthest pin. And then this one goes to this pin. This one goes to that one. And this one will go to this last one here. Okay. But next we want to actually test the driver. So now we know that this is number 4. This is the one they suspect is bad. The way I like to test coil drivers is I like to check the gate and drain pin, just the resistance across them. Typically you will see the same type of numbers. You'll usually see about 13 to 18,000 ohms. If you're seeing a lot less than that, then usually, that's a good indicator that it's bad. So let's go ahead and test this one. We see we have 14,000. That is good. That's what we want to see. This one we have 13.5. That's good. Now this is number 4, supposed to be the bad one. And what do you know? It does indeed look bad. So that is good news for us. Hopefully, that's all there's going to be. Let's go ahead and check these just because we're already here. So that's good. That one is good. And that one is good. Okay, so I'm going to scratch the conformal coating away from here. Mainly just the one I'm removing, but I'm going to do all of this because I want to touch these resistors up. Because I'm going to have to use my hot air gun to help get this off because it's sitting, you can see on this case right here. And I don't feel like removing the whole board from the case. You can. It's not difficult, but I just don't feel like doing it. So I'm going to use hot air in my iron to take this off to, make up for the heat dissipation from the case there. And since I'm using my hot air, it likes to, kind of crack the resistors in the area because the conformal coating will bubble, and it just helps to clean it away from the area you're going to be working. And then I might actually touch them up with some solder after that. Okay. And I'm going to add some lead solder to the pins, just like that, and that's just going to help me remove it. All right, so I'm going to come in with my hot air. My hot air is actually set to 500 C at full airspeed. My iron, the tip is 443 C. Okay, so I'm going to touch here. I'm going to touch here to heat those up. And I'm going to come back in the back. And look, it come right off. Kind of come off too easy there. There we go. All right, so that's the bad driver. Let me clean this up while it's a little bit warm. Okay, I'm just going to put some IPA there, kind of clean the area up. All right, so that's our bad one. Let me dig up a replacement. All right, so let's set the bad one out the way there. Actually, let me throw it away before I get it mixed up with my good ones. And now we're just going to put this new one on here. I'm going to put plenty of flux in the area. Okay. And I'm going to tin this with lead solder before I put this down. And I'm going to do the same with this. Okay, just getting it ready. Okay, now I shouldn't need the hot air. I'm just going to use my iron here. And you know what? Let me switch to the microscope view here. Maybe you guys can see a little bit better what's going on. But now that I have the area clean and I have them both kind of tinned with lead solder, don't really need to use the iron. I can just do it all with this heavy duty tip I got here, which normal tips and basic irons probably can't heat this up enough, but this one is pretty heavy duty, so you can see how big it is. All right, so that part is good. I'm going to come here and just get this like that. I'm going to do these resistors like I talked about. They look pretty good, but just in case. I'm going to touch this up a little bit too. Just while we're here. And just to be safe. think that's gonna do it. All right. So now, just to be extra safe, I am going to use hot air a little bit just to kind of reflow this because when I was putting it on, I didn't feel that it was heating all the way through. I noticed it was heating back here, but I'm just going to preheat a little bit. And there we go. Watch it pull into place. So now I know everything is heating. And now I feel much better about it. Last thing I want to do is I want to also check the resistance for the resistor that's going to the gate. And it should be 1,000 ohms. Don't know if this is. And they are good. So I am going to connect this one up and just test it just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure everything is good now. Uh, that was a very straightforward repair. Customer had done all the hard work and already determined that it was bad. So I think it's safe to say it's good to go now. I am going to reapply some conformal coating, but I'll probably wait till after I test it. But just as a final thing here for the video, we can check the resistance now across the gate and the source, and you can see we're in our normal range. This driver is slightly updated, that's why it's a little bit different, but uh, it's good to go. All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed. Uh, I might do a separate video on the testing of it, might not. Just depends on how busy I get in the shop. So.